I'm a very upfront and straightforward person, most likely just like you. And if people don't like me, just say it. The reason why I want you to say it, so I can tell you how much I don't like you and stay away from you. I don't want to be your friend, and I damn sure don't want you talking to me, because I know how you feel about me, and I don't like your ass either. But that's not how politics works. Not in the United States. A lot of people who don't like you will pretend to like you to get your vote so they can control you, although they will never give you anything. And nobody knows that more than the African American community. They'll pretend to be your friend, but sometimes their true feelings slip out. You know, like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. But again, that's how they really feel about you. This happened with New York City's first female governor, Kathy Hochul. She, of course, is a Democrat, a white liberal. And white liberals and black people have a pretty terrible relationship with each other, even if the black person doesn't know it. And I want you to listen to what Malcolm X says about white liberals.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling and you take him for a friend.
Now, with that being the case, I want you to hear what the governor had to say about young black people in computers.
To follow, because right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
Now that's interesting. In the early 90s, I had an Apple desktop computer in 1993, and I lived in Del Paso Heights, but I had a computer. We had one in our house. That was over 31 years ago. You mean to tell me in today's world, 2024, with smartphones and laptops and iPads, that black kids in New York City don't know what a computer is? But we know why you say that, because you feel like black kids are stupid. But then a few days ago, a reporter got a chance to ask Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, how did he feel about the governor's comments?
Second question, I wonder what your thoughts are on Governor Hochul saying that black kids in the Bronx don't know what the word computer means.
Listen, I am not the word police. I know the governor's heart. And, when you make thousands of speeches, when you're in front of the cameras all the time, when you're trying to be authentic and say the things that you're really feeling, one can sit back and do a critical analysis of every sentence you say and say, oh, you didn't say it this way, that way. I know her heart. I know what she was intended to say. And she was not trying to be disrespectful to the people of the Bronx. And I thank her for what she's doing and how she's highlighting, the issues of technology. We need to have it throughout our entire city, and she has been a real partner. And so those who want to be the word police in this business, you go right ahead. The people of the Bronx knew where her heart was, and she's sincere about uplifting the people. We don't always get it right. We don't always say this sentence the way we want. We would love to hear rewind sometimes, but the reality, that's not the way life is. And I'm pretty sure that you've said some things that you wish you would have said differently.
It's unfortunate, Mr. Adams. But let's listen to what Malcolm X said about people like you.
The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game
that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
You see, the reason why I'm bringing this to a point is Eric Adams is nothing but a pawn. Brandon Johnson is nothing but a pawn. And Eric Adams cannot come out and castigate the white liberal puppet master that's above him. To do that will be career ending. You see, Eric Adams' career is already over because he's going to take the brunt of the migrant crisis, just like Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. They are using these black faces to say, hey, we're giving you guys a chance, but literally we're setting you up to be destroyed. And this is what Eric Adams is doing. He's setting up black Harlem residents and anybody he can in the path to be destroyed. That's why the black Harlem residents, when they confronted him, it sounded like this.
We do not want to hear excuses. These asylum seekers, the refugees, and the migrants, they did not vote for you. They did not pay taxes. And yes, majority of them are criminals. And if you saying that you have to deport them, but also at the same time say, well, this is a sanctuary state, this is a sanctuary city, essentially you're telling us you are useless to us. We have on 130th Street, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., who was an American freedman, who advocated for the American freedmen, and you're telling us you can't do anything for Harlem? What does this say? Harlem homes for Harlem residents.
Eric Adams should trade in his black skin immediately because he's a disrespect to our community. How dare you defend that lady saying that? Now, Hochul is from Irish descent, if I'm not mistaken. Imagine Eric Adams getting up there and saying, you know what? Irish kids may not be able to know what a computer is. No, I'm sure you can find evidence of that. But what would be the backlash? She would come out and blast you. She would never let you talk about Irish kids like that. Or if she was Jewish, she wouldn't let you do it. Or if she was Asian, she wouldn't let you do it. Because she would castigate you. She might even get you fired. How dare you talk about Irish people? Who do you think you are? And that's even if he was the governor and she was the mayor. She could be below him in power, but call for his job. But the mayor knows better than to do that. He knows who the master is in this situation. And all of them know that. See, it's racism in politics too. You don't have very many black governors. And they know, even if they were the governor, they don't run anything. And he knows he better not come out there and blast that governor because something might happen to him. All of a sudden, he might have another scandal come out or this, that, and the other. And you got to play it safe. But just because that person is black in politics, it doesn't mean that that person is black at heart. Remember, even Cata Trust talked about that before.
Brandon Johnson was a lesson for not just myself, but should be a lesson for black folks. And I say this now, we have a tendency to vote for people because they look like us. We vote for people because they're Democrats. And, traditionally, black people always support Democrats. And so we kind of go along with that. And one of the things that happened with Brandon Johnson was he was really a lesson to me and probably to other blacks that we can't just be out here voting for people because they look like us. And we definitely can't be supporting people just because they're Democrats, because Brandon Johnson, as well as President Biden, as well as our Governor Pritzker, are showing us what the Democratic Party really feels about black people.
The difference between Irish and the Jews in politics is when they get into office, they go hard for their group. That ain't what Brandon Johnson do. That ain't what Eric Adams does. They get walked over on the behalf of other groups. Remember when Brandon Johnson, had a situation with some of the Jews in Chicago. They only have 1 or 2 aldermen. They refuse to meet him. What will Eric Adams do? Oh, just brush it off. Brush it off for a group of people who would never brush it off of your ass if you said the same thing about them. That's why we can't get nowhere. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again with another episode of Fair Use. We're out.